What is your favorite paradox? This space intentionally left blank. No comment. This is better than probably half of the responses here. My comment that said no comment is my highest voted comment in almost 7 years on Reddit. Go figure. No one goes to that restaurant because it is too crowded. Yogi Berra. Another great Yogi Berra line. When asked how his stay at a hotel was, he replied, "The towels are so nice and fluffy, I had a hard time closing my suitcase." I never said most of the things I said. No one in New York drives, there is too much traffic. Philip J. Fry. The Song of Storms in Zelda Route. Basically, you learned the song as an adult from a guy who was, somehow, taught the song from you as a kid. Then you go back in time and teach the song to the guy. Wibbly wobbly, timmy wimmy. Stuff. You need experience to get a job, you need a job to get experience. Here ducking here. Here ducking here? Here ducking here? Here ducking here? Only a Sith deals in absolutes. This isn't a paradox of the person saying it is truly a Sith. My point lies on it being said by Obi-Wan Kenobi, most righteous guy out there. Yes, let the paradox flow through you. The Ship of Theseus. It says something along the lines of, you can replace one single part of a ship, and it remains the same ship. So if you replace every single part, one part at a time, and keep all of the original parts, you can put them back together as they were, creating a ship that is also the same ship. The Smithsonian has Lincoln's hatchet, but the blade has been replaced twice and the handle thrice. I work with kids. Sometimes, they'd try to pull the "it's opposite day" stunt. My response, if it's opposite day, then it's the opposite of opposite day, so it's not opposite day. I said it to a kindergartner I work with a few days ago, and he sat by himself for a while building Lego and muttering to himself about opposites. And a serial killer was born. I don't think so. I convinced him that I'm a wizard because A, beard, and 2, I'm nice to people and make them feel good, and make them smile, and that's what magic is. He thinks magic is when you do something for someone that makes them smile. I also convinced him that the people we see around the city planting trees are superheroes. Can God create a rock he can't lift? Edit. In Ella Enchanted, can someone order her to break the enchantment? Pinocchio says, my nose will grow because of this statement. We discussed this in a world religions class freshman year. The answer the professor gave was that God can create something so big he can't lift it, but he could also lift it. Scradina's God. Checkmate atheists, maybe. Stalemate, atheists. This sentence is a lie. True. I'm gonna go with true. Shut up, Wheatley. This sentence is false. Don't think about it, don't think about it, don't think about it. The no wipe paradox. After defecating, you wipe once and there's no waste residue on the wipe. So you call it no wipe. But you had to wipe it at least once to see that you needed no wipes. Edit. I've never received so many Reddit mail regarding poop. Thanks, gentlemen. Well, until you do wipe, you are uncertain about the cleanliness of your butthole. In this circumstance, your ass is both filthy and clean. This can be referred to as Scradina's butthole. Might be a paradox to you, but I like to live dangerously. Although it's a joke, the buttered cat paradox is very funny. Cats always land on their feet. Buttered toast always lands buttered side down. The paradox arises when one considers what would happen if one attached a piece of buttered toast, butter side up, to the back of a cat, then dropped the cat from a large height. This happens. Well, I don't have a favorite paradox. I only have a second favorite paradox. This isn't a paradox. It's just a lie. If you have a second favorite you have to have a first favorite. That's the end. If you choose an answer to this question at random, what is the chance you will be correct? A. 25%. B. 50%. C. 60%. D. 25%. Without a definable question there is no correct answer. So the answer to the original question is 0%. I'm thinking of nothing. You could literally be thinking of the word nothing. But the word nothing is something. You'd still be thinking about nothing though. My head hurts. A paradox is different than an oxymoron. You're an oxymoron. One day an alligator takes a little girl, and her father starts searching for her. The man finds the alligator without his daughter. The alligator tells the man, "You must tell me one statement. If it is true, you get your daughter. If it is false, she disappears." The man replies with, "My daughter will disappear." The man replies, "Crikey, ain't she a beaut?" Suddenly, the alligator realized he has made a serious mistake. Pretty poor parenting from this guy, I feel. So there's a rabbit that challenges a tortoise to race, but being a good sport he gives the tortoise a 10-meter head start, to make you for the fact that he is 10 times as fast. So the race starts, and the rabbit runs the 10-meter to where the tortoise was, but the tortoise has moved 1 meter on, so it's still winning. Then the rabbit runs the 1m between them, but the tortoise has gone another 10 centimeters, so it's still ahead. Once the rabbits ran the 10, the tortoise has gone another 1 centimeter and so is still winning. Using this logic, the rabbit can never overtake the tortoise, despite the fact that he is running faster than it. It's called Zeno's paradox, but it isn't really a paradox in the sense that it has a definite correct answer. The logic of statement leads to an infinite series of movements which converges when the races are tied, and it converges in a finite amount of time. So a little math shoots this one down. Don't ever let anyone tell you how to live your life. Everyone is unique, making everyone the same. When everyone is super, no one is. This statement is false. New mission. Refuse this mission. And does the set of all sets contain itself? All are best suited to quell roguery. The mental health paradox, probably first made popular by Catch-22. If you continue to fly missions, you're crazy. But if you go to the doctor saying you're mentally unfit to fly dangerous missions, you're sane. So many good paradoxes in that book. When an unstoppable force meets an immovable object, what happens? Nothing. An unstoppable force and an immovable object cannot exist on the same plane. You get a great ducking movie. We learn from history that we do not learn from history. Can God create a woman so beautiful that even he can't pick her up? A lesbian. Rule. Every rule has an exception. If you find a rule with no exceptions, did you prove or disprove my rule? What if Pinocchio said my nose will grow right now? Well, that depends on whether Pinocchio's nose grows only when he knows he's lying or whether it happens regardless. If it happens regardless, then he's essentially living in a fate-driven world where he single-handedly can predict the future based on statements he makes about it, therefore determining the truth of those statements on whether his nose grew or not. If his nose only grows when he knows he's lying, then his nose would not grow if he believed it would. The Swiss cheese paradox. The more cheese you have, the more holes you have. The more holes you have, the less cheese you have. Therefore, the more cheese you have, the less cheese you have. Ipso facto, Swiss cheese cannot exist. Sorites paradox. You have a heap of sand. If you remove 1 grain, then the heap is still a heap. Ergo, heap minus 1 grain equals heap. You can continue to do this until only 1 grain of sand remains. At what point did it stop being a heap of sand? The Hitler's murder paradox. Someone travels back in time and kills Hitler as a child, preventing the Holocaust, etc. But if Hitler never did that, there would be no cause to go back in time, therefore no time traveling assassin. Therefore Hitler grows up. Makes my mind hurt every time. This is why time travel wouldn't work. Not necessarily. There are 2 ways this could work. 1. You go into an alternate timeline where Hitler dies. The future where you go back in time doesn't need to exist, because it's not the same reality as the one in which Hitler dies. You cannot return to your You can't change anything. You have already gone back in time, so going back in time won't make anything different. It's already happened. So maybe you go back in time, try to kill Hitler when he's a lowly WWI soldier. You call out for him, trying to get him out of a bunker and into your pistol range. He comes out and surprise. The bunker gets bombed. You realize that you're the reason he was able to survive that particular bunker bombing. It happened a few times, if I recall. The explosion disoriented you so much that you were unable to kill him. Everything you did had already happened, so time travel isn't a paradox so much as an inevitability.